What is up? What is up? Welcome back to another NBA Rundown brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Spread Astaire, joined today by AP and Tyler. AP, how have you been? Missed you last week, but glad to have you back today.
Yeah, no, excited to be back. I all these weeks are just like running into each other. I can't even remember why wasn't I on last week? do
It
you, do you
was
remember?
Christmas Day or Christmas
Christmas.
Eve.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Christmas. There you go. That's a good excuse. I'm like, why the hell would I miss a
Yeah.
show? Yeah, no, Christmas was good. Really excited to break this slate down with you guys. I'll be honest, like NBA, I'm very confident in my process for NBA DFS and just breaking down the games. I usually have it dialed down to where it doesn't take me very long. Not the case at all. At all now with all this news. I mean, it's literally an extra hour and a half sometimes to really sift through and understand these guys that are coming up and playing and how the rotations are going to look and everything. So it's crazy. It's an adjustment, but I do think I do think it's going to end here soon. Like I feel like so many players have had it. There has to be a point in time to where we're back to normal. You know, maybe it's like 2-3 weeks out from now, but it seems like hopefully we'll trend to that direction.
No, I'm with you because I think they're going to switch from testing everybody to just people that are symptomatic, and I think that will change a lot. A lot of these guys are saying I wouldn't have known I had it if it wasn't for the test because they had absolutely no symptoms at all. Tyler, who was I looking for here? Huntley and I were talking about it in the DM. We thought that maybe you would know. So the guy starting here for the Pacers game that's going on right now, Dwayne Washington Jr. played at Ohio State last year. Do you know anything about Dwayne Washington Jr., Tyler? Figure I put you on the spot just to start.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know much about him, but
yeah,
that was the only thing I knew is he played at Ohio State last year.
Yeah, I didn't watch that much college last year. Of course, it was a shortened season as well, so we're really kind of working against it here. Bulls are up 23-17 on my 23-19 on my screen right now. I thought that was an interesting one. Same thing as with Cleveland yesterday. I mean, they just don't have a point guard, right? I mean, Dwayne Washington Jr. played point guard, right, at Ohio State, right? But no real NBA level point guard. So those are these situations. It's like cluster injuries in the NFL. I'm kind of attacking some of those right now. So that's where I landed on that game. AP, did you see the morning's Celtics game? It was funny. So I bet on the Celtics the last two games. They came up short for me. I watched it this morning. I stayed off. I didn't bet it. But I'm saying, boy, is Marcus Smart worth about 30 points to the spread? Because they look like a completely different team with Marcus Smart in there. Did you see any of the Celtics and the Suns this morning?
Yeah, I had it on like in the background, but I really wasn't able to watch it. I saw Big Bob Williams had a triple-double or something like that. Had a big game. I played Horford. I had a feeling one of those bigs would smash because the Suns have nothing inside in the paint there, and I picked the wrong one. So hopefully someone out there picked Bob Williams, but I thought either one of them was a good play today.
Yeah, interesting opportunity for Jalen Smith. Did not make the most of it. Tyler, did you see any of that game?
I did not. I was sleeping this morning. I worked last night, so I literally just got up about like an hour and a half ago.
I can tell you did not miss much as this Boston Celtics absolutely ran away with it. In the chat, any live looks? I mean, I think they'll cover the -3, so that should be about what it is right now. I like the Bulls there, but that's not really that much different than the pregame play. We the people took the Celtics in the over. Time Lord is a beast. I would agree with you there. Maybe the best game of his career so far. So we will start the first game on the slate. So this one, the Sacramento Kings, they're not on the big DFS slate, right? AP, they're a standalone?
Right, yeah, standalone game.
Are you going to play that standalone at all, or are you just waiting for the 7 p.m. Eastern games to start?
No, I'm waiting for the main slate. I'll be focused on that. A little behind today, so I'm just going to avoid that game and But we had a really nice slate though. Decent contest over on DraftKings too. So ones we'll be attacking.
All right, well, then let's just go this purely from a betting perspective. The Dallas Mavericks -1.5 in Sacramento, +1.5, 216.5 is the total. Of course, the Kings got a very fun win with Metu hitting a 3 there at the end when they played this game on Wednesday night. Now they run it back on Friday. I kind of like the zigzag idea here. I think that Dallas gets them back. I also think that Dallas gets some people back. And compared to last time, they didn't look utterly depleted like when I saw before. But they still are missing many players: Willie Cauley-Stein, Brandon Knight, McLaughlin, Trey Burke, Isaiah Thomas hasn't started yet, Luka Doncic, Boban, Maxi Kleber, and Tim Hardaway all still out for Dallas. Neemias Queta is the only player on there for the Kings. Full-strength Kings team, but I think Dallas zigzags. What are your thoughts, AP?
Yeah, I kind of, I get the zigzag. I'm going to side with the Kings here. They're healthy. We saw them playing good. Halliburton's been playing really well. I still think it's a funky backcourt, but the guy that was the difference maker, in my opinion, in the game was Davion Mitchell. He came off the bench and just was on fire, and it hit some clutch shots, and their bigs were playing good too. So I just think, like, this Mavs team, like, they're going to be good if they want to, especially when they get Luka back. But Brunson and Porzingis, I mean, they're phenomenal. But I still think, man, like, they're missing too many pieces. Kings are healthy. I just think they get it done.
All right. I'm on the Mavs. AP's on the Kings. Tyler, break the tie.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this one, I was on the Kings the first time. They got the buzzer beater for me in that game. Mm-hmm. Small lean to the Dallas side in this one, but I'm not going to play the side just because I think it's two bad teams.
Okay.
They finished 94-95 last game spread. Total's 217. Just give me the under here. All the stars are out. I'm going right back to the under.
Yeah, all right. I see a 216.5, a little bit for you.
Like, if you're playing the showdown, I haven't looked at the showdown at all, but, like, if you're playing it, two guys to just take a look at. I think Marvin Bagley for one. Mm-hmm. But then I would also look at Damian Jones. He's been an absolute beast for the Kings with that second unit. Now, the Kings are the far riskier side. Everyone is healthy. So the other thing that does is going to lower ownership on those two guys. But obviously you want to get Brunson, probably Frankie Ntilikina in there too, and then Porzingis are the guys I'd be looking at on the Mavs side. But really interesting showdown slate for sure.
I like how JSU calls him Frankie Nicotine. That's a nice little nickname there.
I had to look. I'll be honest. I had to look up. Like, you can go to, like, how to pronounce names. I had I was so bad at pronouncing names, so I started doing that, and I had to do that with him because I was definitely pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, I probably still am pronouncing it wrong. I'm just gambling. We're gamblers. I'm just gambling. He's not really going to have too much of a career, and it's not going to matter. Gary in the chat. What's up, Gary? Maybe you can throw in some of your DFS ideas as well as the show progresses. Let's go to the next game. Miami Heat -4 heading to Houston to take on the Rockets. Rockets +4. The Rockets took a little bit of money. Now the buyback is here. I think that's because Kyle Lowry was announced in. Jimmy Butler's questionable. To me, I'm not going to bet this game until I know whether or not he's playing. If both Lowry and Butler were out, I would have taken the Rockets. I think if Butler misses, I'm considering the Rockets. But they're still missing Jason Tate and DJ Augustin. Not as bad here as the Memphis team. I mean, not Memphis, Miami team missing Duncan Robinson, Dwayne Dedman, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, KZ Opelka, Markieff Morris, PJ Tucker. I don't know if Udonis Haslem actually matters. That's a little bit of an assistant coach they're missing. There's no Jimmy Butler, would you play the Rockets here, or am I looking at this wrong, AP?
So it's kind of a weird situation. There's a note, like, basketballmonster.com is a great source for injury information. They're always citing their sources from beat writers from Twitter, so you can click it, you can read it to verify it, but they're always very good. A weird note, I haven't seen this before, but it shows just a note, and it shows rest. And that's all it says, rest by Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green. I think that's very important betting-wise, because if we had those two guys out, we already have news that Kyle Lowry is in, and then Jimmy Butler's questionable. That ankle, when he rolled his ankle, it looked pretty bad the other day. But, I feel like a few days have passed. If it wasn't anything too serious, he's probably fine. But even with Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, and some of these guys, I think with KPJ and Jalen Green out, that might be enough for me, honestly, with the hope that Jimmy plays. But I'm really thrown off by the KPJ, Jalen Green. I probably would want to wait till those two guys are out, because Jalen Green, man, he looked very good against the Lakers. who, the Lakers are starting to kind of turn it around, but they're still struggling defensively. So probably a stay away for me, maybe a slight lean on the under here.
All right. Yeah, Tyler, I know you're a big Jalen Green guy. I think he's going to be great, but I don't know how much he helps the team win right now. Kevin Porter's another guy. I think they can absorb the loss. It's just, if Jimmy's out there, he's going to be so head and shoulders the best player on the floor. And that matters in these short spreads. If you give me a +7 or +8, I can absorb, going against a guy like Jimmy Butler. But at +4, they could be covering the whole game, and then they just foul the way right out of it in the last minute or two, right? And Houston's actually had a lot of those games this season. They cover, 42 of the 48 minutes, right? And they end up not even covering by like 6 to 10 points, right? As they've fallen apart towards the end of the game. I lean towards Houston, not enough to play it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, with all the Butler news and just this giant injury report for Miami, if Butler plays, small lean to Miami. If he doesn't, small lean to Houston. But there's other games on the board I like better than this one. I like AP's look on the under. My only worry there is Houston really doesn't play defense. They also play a fast pace.
Yeah.
So even with the bad guys out there, they'll still run up and down the floor. So pretty much this game, I'm going to do the old Jimmy Butler, ball it up, throw it over the shoulder.
I love it.
I got to take a few steps back. I'm looking at this Kyle guy. And we got Mario. I forgot Mario Chalmers. Man, I think if you think he's not going to play, I would hammer the Houston side. So
did you see that Chris Bosh saw that Chalmers got signed and started sending out tweets like, hey, if he's got signed, I can get out there. AP, man, from the DFS perspective, though, it's tough to handicap, but I think that there's probably a lot of options here with all these guys out. Have you taken a look, and which one of these guys are going to be good on your heat map that you're building?
Yeah, this would be like an obvious smash spot because just look at what the Heat have to deal with. Omer Yurtseven is going to be an absolute lock there in the paint. Caleb Martin in play. Obviously, Jimmy Butler, a phenomenal play if he can go. Tyler Hero. All of their starters, Kyle Lowry, all their starters are definitely going to be in play. Just an easy matchup, like Tyler said. The Rockets don't play defense, so this Heat team, they're still going to be able to score. You're going to have to play Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, these guys big minutes. Caleb Martin, probably the other guy here that might have to push, 38-plus minutes. I think he did it one other time this season too. He seems like the type that would be fine playing, as many minutes as they give him. So should be a very tight rotation. I don't know some of these other guys. Ark Holman, like Haywood Highsmith. No idea who those guys are. So not gonna be
I'm up on here right now because I like to just kind of fill out a lineup while you're talking through them all. Kyle Lowry's listed as out, but we know that he's probably going to play. Does that actually affect ownership? Because I'll tell you what, I might, if I wasn't so in so deep on this, I might just pass over his name. Do you think that drops him like 5%? And he might be a pretty good play.
They'll change it. They'll update it. I don't think it's going to have a massive impact on ownership.
Okay. Atlanta Hawks are +1 heading to Cleveland to take on the Cavaliers -1. Cavaliers pulling off the trade for Rajon Rondo today. Tyler, I'll start with you. I don't know if he's the best fit there. Bad defense, not a good outside shooter. Of course, good IQ, though, for these young guys who are learning. First of all, talk about the addition of Rajon Rondo to the team, and then, of course, your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, he should definitely help out. He's just going to fill in that role like Ricky Rubio. Now, he won't have the offense he had, but he'll be able to be the floor general, and he'll set up these big men in great spots. So, Mobley, Allen, Markkanen, they'll all feast from this trade. But other than that, it's just a replacement for Ricky Rubio until he gets back next year with the ACL injury. And then looking at this game spread, giant injury report still for Atlanta. All the guards still out for Cleveland. They'll likely get Jared Allen back. This is the combination of the two of the four teams we went out with the unders the last couple days. We're just going to go right back to it. Give me the under here. I don't see this one cracking 200.
Yeah, and that was my thing with the Washington play. Was that yesterday or the day before? But we were on the Wizards. And the idea was just like they don't have a point guard. It's like it was what Dylan Windler season, which I know you guys love saying on the Hardwood Show, AP, but I don't know if I really want him running the offense of a team I bet on. What are your thoughts on the addition of Rajon Rondo, AP, and your thoughts on this game?
I think it was a really sharp pickup for Cleveland, and honestly, like Rondo made 0 cents on the Lakers team. They had Russ, Rondo, LeBron, and what, like one other point guard. Like, so I think, with how this like Ricky Rubio was just so massive to this Cavs team. Like, God, that injury just absolutely sucks. This Cavs team had a ton of life, ton of fun to watch. I think Rondo was a really sharp pickup. I think with just how good he is, he's a veteran. He knows the game, high basketball IQ. I think they can put him in here, and I think he can get it done with Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, or Kevin Love. I think he's going to just fit right in, and he's going to do his thing. He's going to play defense. He's going to focus on distributing the ball. And then Kevin Pangos, I think. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Pangos ended up starting.
Is he starting tonight? Or
I think so. I don't think this Rondo trade will be done in time. I don't think that I mean, I could be wrong. I just assumed that there's no way he could make it.
It says Rondo's also out with COVID protocols until the 2nd of January.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's no way he's playing then.
Yeah, I think DFS wise, like I would be fine. Like he was 1 for 8 from the field. His first career NBA start. He's going to fit in this offense. Like you have so many bigs here that you can just feed the ball to, especially with Jared Allen in there now and Evan Mobley. It's almost like you could just penetrate to the lane and just toss the ball up, and one of those two guys is going to slam it in. So I expect a bounce back for him here. I think it's a good matchup too, obviously against Trae Young. I think DFS wise, this game is far more intriguing. Nice spot here for Trae Young. It looks like the Hawks should once again have a very tight rotation. It looks like Lou Williams is back. Outside of that, they're still very thin. So that at least helps out Trae Young, someone that can come in, run the offense for a bit. I don't know if Lou Williams is really going to be in play for me, though. Like the sweet Lou of old has not really been the same for quite some time. I mean, I bet he gets a little bit of ownership here too. Kind of torn on that, but definitely have interest in Trae Young here. I think he could put up a massive number. And then I like Tyler's call on the unders.
All right. Yeah. So Trae Young, right, at 11.5, second highest guy on the slate as far as price. LeBron James, number 1 at 12K. I can't argue with that. Dame Lillard up to 10.9. I don't know if I'd want to spend up for him. Russ is always in play right at 10.7. But from 10K and above, that's Butler, Russ, Dame, LeBron, and Trae. How would you rank Trae among those 5 spend-ups?
Yeah, that's a good question. I just think, gosh, looking at this matchup, and the fact that, look, like the Hawks, I was factoring in a blowout in their last game. Chicago, they had all their, everyone except for Lonzo Ball in there still. So right. They were just a much more complete team. I think here, looking at the backcourt, much better spot potentially for the Hawks. Capella is going to have to play a ton of minutes here. They really don't have any other bigs. Like Capella is going to have to play a ton of minutes. But, man, ranking them, the one problem I would have with Trae Young versus like a LeBron James or some of these other spend-ups is how's he going to get the rebounds with Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Kevin Love off the bench, and Clint Capella all there. My one fear, you're betting on like a 40-point raw scoring game from Trae Young. I'm not saying he's not in play. I'm just saying you're going to need the scoring, and he's definitely capable of that too. So, but again, if they win like a grinded out type game, I think you're going to want like a LeBron or I'm like my GPP take right now is I'm kind of like just looking at Russ. I feel like the guy has his legs back. He's looking good. Obviously needs to get his shot down, and we'll talk about this game a little more. But I love the triple double upside that he's shown of late.
I mean, and Tyler, this is fairly simple. It's almost just like doing the points, rebound, assist, props for these top guys. Who would you say of your, if you only spend up for one, LeBron, Trae, Dame, Russ, or Jimmy Butler? Who do you think would be the best option, Tyler?
It'd be one of the Lakers guys, LeBron or Russ. Just because it's just those two and a bunch of scrubs. You look at the stat lines from those games, they just grab points and just everything else. They just fill the stat sheet.
And if you tell me you're just blindly attacking Portland, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
So, All right. Well, I think that's an interesting conversation to throw in when talking about that game. The Los Angeles Clippers plus 6.5. They are heading to Toronto to take on the Raptors minus 6.5, under 210 AP. I bet on the Celtics on Wednesday night. They went 4 of 42 from 3 against the Clippers. I'd like to say that the Clippers played good defense, but no. Looked like a bunch of guys who like smoked a joint and were playing at 24-hour fitness. I mean, they were just bricking wide open threes in that game. Of course, they got back on track tonight. I think this is a tough spot for the Clippers. You know, they were in Boston. They fly to Toronto. They'll come back to Brooklyn real soon. I mean, I think the Raptors are the only way to look here. Am I missing something?
No, I'm with you. Like the Raptors get a lot of pieces back. They're basically fully healthy. And they got Bobby Boucher playing good basketball too. So he's just going to be another
out of the
piece off
doghouse.
I mean, God, didn't he have like a triple double the other day? He hit 5 of 7 threes, 19
I had him
rebounds
in the lineup that night. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the optimal that night, DFS wise. I mean, sharp play. Yeah, I would say the Raptors here. It just seems like a spot where they're going to win by double digits. But you know, Marcus Morris, like the way they keep it close is if he's hitting shots. He's been playing good basketball. I think he's interesting in the DFS streets. Keep an eye on Reggie Jackson. If he's back tonight, that's obviously going to be a nice benefit to them too. But man, I've been avoiding Clipper games. Like I don't know. Even with these tighter rotations, it seems like Ty Lue still finds a way to run out 10 guys.
He won't be there tonight.
He won't be there. Okay, that helps a little bit.
He tested today. Yeah, he popped.
The one thing, and honestly, he's going to have to start. He's probably going to be one of the chalkier options on the slate. Just looking at injury concern, because Zubac's out, Hartenstein's out, so we have Serge Ibaka, a little revenge narrative in Toronto there against his former team that he won a championship with. So Ibaka 3.2K. I don't know how you don't play him. If he gets 18 minutes against this team, he should get more. He should get like at least 26. I don't know. He's probably going to crush. I mean, Tyler, have you looked at any props for Ibaka, or have you seen anything tonight?
Yeah, right when you said that, I went and looked. His points are 11.5, and his rebounds are 7.5. He's going to play. Yeah, he's going to play a shit ton of minutes. He's going over both those numbers. It's not like Toronto has a tree in the middle. It's just going to eat up all the rebounds either.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
3,200
lock of the slate.
Yeah, 3,200 for Ibaka. I thought that was a great breakdown there, AP. Tyler, what were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, AP hit everything pretty much on the head in this game. My only thing is spread is this Clippers team still ravaged. I'm just going to go back to my motto. Don't overthink it with all these G League players in this league right now. Just give me the under. Toronto's a defensive team. Now the Clippers got to come all the way to the East Coast. Banged up already. Just give me the under. I can see this being another one where you get to like 200 and that's it.
AP, so we've been using the value here, right? And Reggie Jackson has popped, over the last couple of weeks, right? Especially right when Paul George fell out. Talk about sticker shock. 8,100 for Reggie Jackson. You got to be kidding me. But a lot of times when I say this, Travis or JSU will be like, no, that he's still actually in play at that price. What are your thoughts at 8,100 Reggie Jackson?
If this was a matchup against like the Rockets, and if he was in play and we knew he had no restrictions, I would have interest. But look, like Marcus Morris is back. He's been playing really good. You got Terrence. You have guys that take usage away. So Terrence Mann, very, very, good, strong player. Up and coming young guy. I'm not going to pay $8K for Reggie Jackson. The other thing that does is think about the opportunity cost that you're giving up, paying for a guy like that who has a really low floor and a ceiling that is somewhat questionable in the spot. So I think it's an easy fade. You can make the same Fred VanVleet on the other side, 9.8K, and he's been out for a while now. There's things where like DraftKings, I'm like, where do they even come up with this pricing? It seems like they could easily fix it. Get a person that's like full-time play DFS for a couple of years, get them in there to review pricing on a daily manner, make it a full-time job, and this problem's solved. Like, I think that would be a huge benefit. But yeah, we're not playing those guys tonight.
Good to know my instincts were right
One
on
thing
that
last
one.
to touch on that game spread on the under. I mean, looking at all these guys that are coming off the injury report for Toronto, OG Anunoby, off injury report, conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Fred VanVleet, conditioning. Precious, return to competition, conditioning. Keem Birch, same thing, return to competition, reconditioning. All these guys are just going to be getting reconditioned tonight. Like, they're not going to be running full speed up and down the floor at 100 miles an hour. So that makes me like this under even more, that these guys are just getting, like, reacclimated to playing. So just want to double down on that take.
Love it. I love it. Under 210. I'll throw that one in right now. While we talk about the New York Knicks, who are laying 4.5, heading to Oklahoma City with a total of 206.5. The Knicks playing pretty well as of late. Am I right here, Tyler? I don't. So Fournier's questionable. Randall's out. I know some Knicks fans will actually be happy about that. Nerlens Noel's out. On the other side, they are missing Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, Trey Mann, Darius Baisley. Shea's questionable. Of course, you can't really get involved in this game until you know his status. Josh Giddey's still out. Kenrich Williams questionable. Poku's in. Maybe that affects the DFS. Don't think it really affects the side or the total. I'll start with you on this one, Tyler. Until SGA is ready to play or announced, I can't get involved. I don't know. I might be interested if he played. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, simple handicap here. If he's out, I like the Knicks side. If he's in, I'm probably going to stay away from the side as a whole because I can see them backdooring you late. But looking at this one spread, another one. Bad matchup, two defensive teams. OKC can't really put up teams. I know the Knicks aren't the defensive juggernaut they were last year, but they're still trying to get back into more of a defensive playing game. Give me the under again. I just think we could see a bunch of unders today.
All right, AP, what are your thoughts on the Knicks and the Thunder?
Yeah, this game projects to be pretty ugly. But yeah, Julius Randle out. So from a fantasy standpoint, it's going to bring guys like Obi Toppin into play. Obi Toppin's been like a motor out there. I mean, there's been multiple videos of him just like constantly sprinting up and down the floor. A guy that you got to think that like Tibbs loves. So, I mean, he's going to be in play. Mitch Robb. And then Taj Gibson, probably the only bigs that they have. The interesting thing, like if you go and look at the advanced metrics and just put in like Alec Burks starting versus coming off the bench, the numbers are like incredible. Like he is a completely different player coming off the bench. It's literally insane. And we saw last game, like he went nuts. He 12 for 17, 5 for 8 from 3-point range. Was a positive plus minus, like he was carrying the team, but you put him in that starting lineup and he just struggles. I don't quite understand it, but DFS wise, you get a nice matchup here against OKC that could be very limited once again tonight. We got to keep an eye on Shea. It was weird last game he was in, nothing was on the injury report, and then like literally 45 minutes before the game started, a lot of games had already locked. He got pulled and he was ruled out. So he's questionable, and it says right ankle soreness. So I don't know if they're on a back-to-back or not, but keep an eye on that. If he plays here, they what?
They did not play last night.
Okay. I don't know if do they play tomorrow?
I'll have to check that.
There's
only 4 games on last night, and one got canceled, so it's pretty easy to keep track of what was going on.
Yeah,
they will not play.
That's true.
They don't play on New Year's Day either. So their next game, let's see, are they going to play on Sunday? On Sunday, they will host the Thunder. So
if Shea plays here, I do think he's in play. I think he enhances a guy like Lou Dort. And the reason he does that is you have to assume that the game's going to be a little bit more competitive. The other case that you can make is, man, this OKC team, they were hanging in it with the Suns the other night. Maybe that was more of a case of the Suns just overlooking them, and you're like, oh, we don't need to really prepare for this team that's going to be without a bunch of dupes, and they had to play. They're up against Aaron Wiggins, Paul Watson, whatever. But these backup dudes, I think it was Ty Jerome. He kind of went off 9 for 22 from the field, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Had a good game. So tougher game DFS wise to break down as we need the news, and we know OKC can run a really, really wide rotation. That's often unfriendly for DFS, but yeah, the Knicks side I have far more interest in. Kimba, I can go right back to him. Evan Fournier is questionable. Keep an eye on him. But Obi Toppin, Mitch Robinson, keep an eye on those. And if Fournier is out, I mean, I would even look at a guy like Emmanuel Quickly or Alex Burks. So a lot of options on the Knicks side tonight.
Yeah, I enjoy watching Quickly play. I hope he continues to develop. Maybe tonight will be an opportunity to kind of showcase what he's got. The San Antonio Spurs plus 5.5. Memphis laying 5.5 at home with the total of 227. AP, I think this one's real interesting. So I think this is the second or third game without DeJounte Murray. But full disclosure, I have not seen any of the games without Murray. And I know that since you run the projections, you have a better idea. Where's all that usage going to with Murray out? And what do you think of this game? Spurs catching 5.5 without Murray.
Yeah, it's going to Derek White and then Keldon Johnson. I think are the two kind of key benefactors there. The other thing there is like Lonnie Walker. I know was out. I think he might be back tonight. So keep an eye on that. Derek White 6'8" there. He's just phenomenal play. But I'm going to go right back to the Grizzlies here. I like the Grizzlies side. The Lakers had them like through three and a half quarters. John Morant went nuts. This kid is so like definitely one of the most fun players to watch when he's healthy. The stuff that he was doing, the shots that he was hitting, I would say him and like, I don't know what you guys think, but like LaMelo Ball, two of the more exciting players right now in the league to watch when they're healthy. I know you could add a ton to that list. But yeah, for me, it's John Morant. It's Derek White, the backcourt's here. And then it's like, man, like Jaren Jackson rarely plays a ton of minutes. I don't ever play Steven Adams. Kyle, like Jenkins, he can go deep, even if they're down a bunch of players. Like Jenkins can just bring out these funky rotations, and rotate guys around John Morant and Desmond Bane right now. So like outside of those two guys, I think the Grizzlies is very risky team. So that's where I would stick to. And then it's Derek White, Keldon Johnson on the Spurs side.
Yeah, we talked about spend ups early, and I kind of arbitrarily made the 10K as the cutoff here. John Morant at 9.6, I think, is in that category. You spoke a little bit about opportunity cost earlier. He gets you an extra, 1,400 compared to spending up for, say, a Dame Lillard or something. Actually, I'm kind of interested in playing him tonight. I know he was in your core, right? And I was cursing myself, right? Because that was a 442 night, and I used your exact core, except I thought I'd be smart, and I said, big brain, right? Let me sub out Jaylen Brown for John Morant.
that was the Millie night where I played your boy Bagley from.
Yeah.
Guess what his ownership was that night? You'll love this spread.
2%.
No, 0.5%. Wow. I was laughing at that.
Wow.
I mean, it was a Millie maker, like. It
was a big slate though, wasn't it? Like 12 games.
Big slate, yeah, big slate. It's just my take on that was I knew he was going to start. He's a guy that has shown an ability to take over a game. Tons of risk around that play, Millie maker type play.
Yeah. All right. So you like the Grizzlies there, Tyler? What are your thoughts here? Spurs, Grizzlies. No DeJounte Murray. John Morant is in play.
Yeah, I mean, small lean to the Memphis side, but I think it's a couple too many points at 7.
Oh, you got 7?
Yeah,
I have 5.5 on Bookmaker right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing 7 on FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit too high for me. But, I mean, in the total, sitting right in that range where I think the Spurs and Grizzlies can get up and down the floor. So this is going to be another game. Not really going to target much in this one.
Okay.
I'm going to look for other spots in other games.
All right, let's get on to the next game then. Timberwolves. Plus 12 heading to Utah to take on the Jazz. Seems like the Jazz lay 12 every single night. I mean, it's just Utah Jazz minus 12 is just etched in my memory. Total 222. I know Anthony Edwards is back because our guy Huntley sent me that message this morning. So thank you for that, Huntley, for MVP. Who else will be playing? Looks like Taurean Prince is back as well. Jared Vanderbilt. Hey, so he's not a big DFS guy, AP, but I think he really helps this team win. I think he's the most versatile defender they have, and he has the size to go against the bigger guys. Donovan Mitchell will make his return, which probably takes a lot of Jazz out of the play for DFS. The only other ones I'm seeing for the Jazz side here, Mike Conley's out. Maybe that makes Mitchell a little more attractive. Joe Ingles questionable. Eric Pascal out. This one's tough. I really, this is about, I mean, and my numbers are really crude right now because I'll be honest, I'm not the best. If it's one or two players missing, I feel like I can accurately like change my line. But when we're missing like 6 guys, I think it's just like, I'm not really sure how to adjust. I feel like sometimes I over adjust. Sometimes I'm not adjusting enough to these people being out. So I would say it's pretty close to where my model's at. But to be fair, the model's just getting a cursory glance at this point. It's almost just like an exercise in data input for me. So I'm not really sure what to do with this line, AP. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, so I mean, these teams kind of just played, but it was like Jaden McDaniels, Jake Layman, Naz Reid, D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley started, and the Jazz were healthy. The Jazz here are healthy once again. I would honestly maybe a slight lean to the under, which I never feel like great about, but look at the players that are back now, like Pat Bev, Jared Vanderbilt, like one of their better defenders, like you said. Whereas before they didn't have like guys that could play defense in there. So, and we've seen the Minnesota play better defense at times this year. So maybe a slight lean there. I would just, gosh, I hate playing or taking sides against the Jazz. I've tried it a couple times in spots and it just always punishes me. So, and I don't like betting heavy favorites like that either. So stay away, slightly to the under. DFS wise, I'm going to say the same thing. I don't think you necessarily need to play anyone here. Joe Ingles, Bojan, maybe fine. Jordan Clarkson off the bench, but he's better when Donovan Mitchell's out. Now Donovan Mitchell back, it's more of a Joe Ingles spot. So I would say Ingles for value for me.
All right. Yeah, Tyler, I actually don't track this that much, but if we wanted to make just like a fun bet, I'll bet you this game has the lowest handle on the card. I bet you a lot of people are feeling like AP and I were just like, there's really no reason to get involved with it. You guys got to set the line. We don't have to bet it. I'm fine staying away. Do you think we are missing value, Tyler?
No, I mean, I wouldn't call it crazy value. It's just that spot I like the bet where you get the ball dominant guard back that's just going to pound the ball into the ground the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I like to fade that. So I'm going to take Minnesota plus the points here.
But couldn't you have been referring to both teams when you said that? I thought you were going to call Minnesota the ball dominant because A1 comes back tonight too.
Yeah, A1's back, but he's not as bad as Mitchell. Mitchell's just
That's true.
Ball in hand. Like, I'm going to do this all by myself. Like, everyone has to play through me.
Right.
So that kind of worries me. If Cat and D'Angelo Russell were in this game, I'd be taking Minnesota's money line.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't take it with just Anthony Edwards out there. And I also like AP's lean to the under because I could see this just being an ugly game with the defensive guys back for Minnesota. And Utah hasn't been flinging up points like crazy. So give me the under here in Minnesota plus that 10.
All right. Yeah, I got plus 12 here. Boy, usually our books are pretty close. They're pretty wildly different tonight there. That's 2 games that are 1.5 or a 2-point difference on the lines from offshore to what are you using right now, FanDuel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually they're really lockstep. Usually it's a half point, maybe at most.
Maybe I should refresh my stuff. Maybe I got stale lines.
All right, we will check on that. I did refresh the DraftKings too, and Kyle Lowry is no longer on the list. So thank you, Chris, for reminding me to do that. Portland Trailblazers last game of the night, plus 5.5 in Los Angeles, taking on the Lakers. The Lakers, boy, this team gets so much attention. I've never seen like a number 8 seed get so much attention, right? They're the talk of the town. I had the misfortune of having that First Take show on this morning, and that's all they were talking about. Remind me not to do that again. But I don't know how. I mean, these are 2 of my favorite fades when they're colliding. But so I'm thinking, which is the heavier fade? I honestly kind of think Portland is the worst fade right now. There's not a lot to really be positive about on this Portland team. But you know what? They do this every year, and they get it together. So maybe by the end of the year, they'll be potent again. But as of right now, I don't think I'm going to be playing this team for a while. Lean to the Lakers, but I don't really want to bet on them because, as everybody's talked about, this team does have a lot of flaws. What are your thoughts, AP?
Yeah, I like the Lakers here. I think they're starting to find something. Russ is starting to look better. Malik Monk being back helps them offensively. I think they get a few other pieces back. Carmelo Anthony has been huge off the bench, and then it's more so a function how bad the Blazers have been too. So I'm kind of betting on the Lakers. I think are trending up right now. I'm still not high on them. I think their team is just an awkward team, but it's LeBron James right now. The guy's incredible. I've watched the last few games, and it's there was a point in time where this guy was just this season, the team was not fun to watch. They're fun to watch right now because he's playing so good. He's hitting huge shots, making a ton of threes, and you have Russ also driving to the lane, playing better ball. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a great opportunity for them. I think DFS-wise, it could be another spot where both Russ and LeBron get triple-doubles. The other night, my bet, DFS-wise, is we'd get a big triple-double from Russ Westbrook. It was probably the crappiest triple-double I've seen DFS-wise. It was 49.5 points, and he got a triple-double. That's usually if a player's getting a triple-double, they're in the 60s. So not the case with him. And obviously the other issue there is his turnovers, which definitely can hurt his value, especially on FanDuel. Not as much on DraftKings. But the Lakers are easy right now. It's LeBron, and man, this dude is just so consistent. And he was low owned the other night too. He was 13% owned. That price tag may keep people off of him. Still in tournaments, large field tournaments, Russ is going to be very low owned. He was 2% owned in that Millie Maker the other night, the $2,500 buy-in, 2% owned. I'm going to, I think tonight again, he's going to be under 5%. I'm going right back to him in tournaments. I'd love the leverage there that you're getting. We all know, what a triple-double is capable of if you throw in some steals, blocks, and 20 points raw scoring, which he's capable of. That's going to be a big number. So, and then the Blazers side, this is going to be a nice little potential game stack. I think what you could do. So everyone was high on Nasir Little. He had a terrible game, didn't get the minutes. You could go right back to him in tournaments. Larry Nance was the guy that got it all done. Or you go right back to Larry Nance too. We've seen how vulnerable this Lakers team could be in the paint. They don't trust, Dwight Howard. This might be a spot where they just put LeBron at the 5 again. So
that's
really
their best lineup right now.
Yeah, LeBron at the 5. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dame, man, I could see him getting it done here, but I don't know. I'm torn. I would rather go the Russ route with I just feel better about his peripheral stats.
Kevin Clunan wants to know about Powell. I busted out with him the other night, and I had a bunch of fire too using your cores, right? And then I, had to choose some of my own, and that was a miss for me. Do you think Powell bounces back tonight?
Yeah, he's gonna. So let me just pull up the injuries. I want to see if is Simons out or is he in? Do you guys know? He's out. There. Yeah, we're gonna get 40 minutes from Norm Powell. So yeah, I'm 6'7". They're gonna need scoring. It's not gonna come from Tony Snell. They don't have much of a bench. So here's the other thing too is 10.9K. That's going to keep Dame's ownership way down. Mm-hmm. We've seen how bad the Lakers have been defensively. You can play this game so many different ways. I would definitely get the safe way is LeBron James. The way in tournaments is Russ. I think the way right in the middle is Dame Lillard right there if you think the game stays close.
All right, Tyler, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's an ugly game. Really don't want to back either team because it's the Lakers in Portland. So it's which team's going to screw you over at the end of the night. But I agree with you. I think the Lakers are the side here in this game just because, Portland is so bad. LeBron should have a great matchup. There's no big in the paint to keep Russ off the boards either. So I think he's a lock to get a triple-double tonight, a plus 400. That's going to be a bet.
Who was that?
At Russ.
Yeah, Russ.
Okay, because Nick DePalma, right when you were saying that, I missed it. He said, you guys have the biggest lock of the slate for a triple-double, and it sounds
4 in a row.
You got yours.
4 in a row.
I like
Love
Russ
the call,
tonight.
Tyler.
Yeah, it's Russ tonight, plus 400. No big man on the Portland side. He's just going to eat down low. It's just if he gets the assist and the points for us, which I think he'll do. So, yeah, I like him to get the triple-double. I'd probably just play triple-double and Lakers win on FanDuel as a player performance double. I don't want to lay 5 with this team and watch them win by about 3.
I'll tell you what, though, when I'm looking at the people that are coming back, if Avery Bradley's back, Kent Bazemore's back, Ariza's back, that addresses a lot of the issues this team had with athleticism and defense, because I felt that those were like key underrated signings, because those guys can get out there and they can defend, they can switch, they do the things that you want to do, and that allows LeBron and Russ to just play offense, which is all they really want to do it at this point in their careers. During the regular season, of course, that changes in the playoffs. But boy, the more I look at this, the more I kind of think that the Lakers are the right side here. We the People says Simons and Covington still out. He loves Dame here versus Westbrook defense. And if there's a guy you want to target on defense, it's probably Russell Westbrook. So what do you say, AP? Do you want to make a quick core for everybody? And then we can go ahead and we'll give out a best bet.
Yeah, can we all three pick players?
Yeah.
How about that? I'll get it. Let's start with the free square Serge Ibaka. Okay. And that now spread. We can start with you.
All right, so we'll put Ibaka in at forward. Boy, that Miami team, it seems like we have to look at them. Would you say that Yurt7 is the best play of all the Miami guys? I mean, he's only, 5-7K? So it gives us a lot of flexibility to work around.
Yeah, right. I like that.
Tyler, we've been talking about some of these guys, and of course, just the guy you think will pop on PRA. Who do you think the third player should be, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, you guys went value and pick the diamonds in the rough. I'm going to be the square here and just give me Russell Westbrook.
All right, I think that's fine too. All right, AP, we'll let you finish it off as the pro because we'll need a little value now that we've spent a good portion of our cash now.
Yeah, I think what we do is let's go. God, you could go either way, but man, Larry Nance, there's a lot to like there. Really fair price tag. Like Tyler said, they're gonna they have no bigs at all. He's gonna have to play a lot of minutes here, and even if the game goes small, he fits into that too. So I like Larry Nance, 6-1.
All right, Larry Nance at 6K. Tyler, over to you for best bet, side total or prop. I have a guess. It's going to be some Westbrook time. What is your side total or prop best bet today for New Year's Eve, Tyler?
For the prop, we're going to go with, just like you said, that Russell Westbrook triple-double at plus 400. And then I'm going to go right back to my under spread. Give me the under in that Toronto Clippers game, under 210. I don't see them two teams putting up many points in that game.
All right, yeah, and I think with those guys back, even though conditioning, I think the defense will be improved. It's just more size on the floor, if anything there. AP, what's your best bet for the day?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I want to go back to an overs bet, and it's going to be the late hammer tonight. Lakers Blazers over 227. Not a lot of defense played in that game. Hopefully, a ton of buckets from Norm Powell, Lillard, even Nance, and then Russ and LeBron. Both triple doubles again tonight.
All right, love it. I'm going to go to the Toronto Raptors game. I'm not going at the under, though. I'm laying it with the Raptors. I think this is a terrible spot for the Clippers. I like the Raptors getting their players back, and even if it is conditioning, I think that might even be better for this bet. Give me 25 minutes of OG. Give me 25 minutes of these guys, and then go ahead and get the other guys that have been playing. I think it's going to work out really well there. I think it's a really tough spot. I would not want to travel to Canada on New Year's Eve, maybe if I was going to Niagara Falls or something, but it doesn't sound like the best trip there for the Clippers. I don't know how happy they're going to be about that either. So I like the Toronto Raptors minus 6.5. So everybody, this show is brought to you by Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. If you're not already a member, head on over to Run Pure Sports. Use the promo code GETBETS to become a member. AP, do you have an idea of all the great content that Run Pure Sports has going on this weekend?
Yeah, normal stuff. We got a big Sunday NFL slate. We have NBA all throughout the weekend. A normal slate. I don't think there's any MMA for a couple weeks though, right?
No.
You guys know? Yeah.
No, there's no MMA this weekend. So, all right.
Yeah, and we got the Hardwood show coming up here in about 25-30 minutes. So head on over there.
All right, so you'll be watching that Hardwood show, but when you're done, Tyler and I record. We're doing it around the same time, and we'll be doing the NFL. We'll do the props edition, right? So Tyler has to listen to all my opinions on the sides and totals, but on the props, we pretty much let him do all the heavy lifting. He's in there like Arnold, just pumping out the winners, and we'll be doing that there. I don't know.
Do you guys have any I'm a little bit behind this week because NBA is just crazy. I'm going to get a little bit of my NFL work in after lock, and then we got stuff going on, obviously. But You guys have any locks for the slate this week or for NFL?
Tyler,
Any guys you like?
Our teaser that I like spreads pretty much like a wash now because Kirk Cousins is on the COVID list. You can't tease that 7.
But I bet it during the show.
Yeah, but we can't tell AP to tease down Green Bay.
Yeah.
They're minus 12.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, AP, if you get a chance, I know you guys will be busy during that show, but I think the info will be good till Sunday. And I'll prod Tyler when we're going live. And usually, if he likes an over on the prop, I usually put them in like a nice little DFS lineup as well there because he's been doing pretty well on the prop. So Tyler, you need some time to study though. I'm going to switch the shirt. Right, I'm in a basketball shirt now, but I got to switch to an NFL shirt before the show. What time do we want to start for the NFL show?
We'll go 5:30. We'll give him an hour break.
All right, an hour break. That you guys can start with the Hardwood Live, and then you can catch up with the NFL props when you need it over the weekend. AP, thank you for joining us. Anything else for the people before we get out of here?
No, let's just all run pure tonight.
Yeah, hoping to run pure on New Year's Eve. Thank you, everybody, for watching Run Pure.